Morning everybody, today we are on a journey from Munich to Vienna and we'll take you with us. So it's about a 4 hours and 30 minutes journey, 430 kilometers. We are at a state of charge of 56 only, so yesterday we had a bit of charge but on a slow charger, and it's 250 kilometers of range. That's not the real range, I guess, because this is the better estimation in here, right? 230. So that means we definitely have to supercharge along the way. There's no battery swap station. And what is also important, the battery, which is the 75 kilowatt hours battery. It doesn't. Also today is a pretty hot day, so a bit of AC is definitely needed. As you can see, I'm sweating, and we also have to do some work. So also laptop's gonna be plugged in. Let's see how it goes. Lovely. Nomi's having fun here. However, we are down to only 160 kilometers of range here, real range. That is 43% of battery charge state. And this means we possibly have to already look out for supercharging and a little bit of a stop here on the road. Basically only half an hour into our journey yet, so that has been quite a bit of consumption there, although it was only 17 kilowatt hour per 100 kilometers. So time to start and do some supercharging here. Let's see if it works and how fast it is and how much we can get here. So while the car is charging, we are looking a little bit for a coffee or a toilet or some place where we can do a little bit of work, but unfortunately there's not too much around here in this area. So that's an issue with all of these charging solutions. That question is, what do you do during this time? We managed to do a little bit of work, and although this cafe wasn't a great place to stay, still it had some food, a little bit of drinks and coffee. That's fair enough, but no toilet. But we managed to stay quite a while, more than half an hour, which means that our car is now fully charged, almost max range. It's great. And one of the other benefits at a very hot day like today, it is cooled down to the max without using the battery power, but straight from the charger, I guess. So that's great. So we can head on. No more charging needed until Vienna. Yeah, an unplanned, maybe a little bit too early bit of a stop here in between, and adding quite a few minutes of extra time to stand here and do the supercharging. But in the end, it worked well. All great. No range anxiety here. Here we go. We are now almost at our destination, so that's 30 minutes left, and our consumption's been pretty good. 17 kilowatt hour per 100. The real range still is 100 kilometers at this point, and it's now 3. So with 1 full hour of stop, we started at 10. We're now 4 hours on the road, possibly 4.5 hours in total. Well, Miriam is maybe a little bit more relaxed and less stressed than I am, but I would say it's tough calculated, given that we had a 100% charge in our last stop, which was frankly a little bit longer than we anticipated. But overall, I would say the travel time will be quite good. But we'll have to see whether or not we've got some charging at our destination, at our hotel. I'm not sure about that, to be honest. But yeah, I would say we didn't have to add any extra time in order to get there. We would have taken this break anyways, had a little bit of work to do and a little bit of organizing. We even had another quick stop for getting the vignette, which we need here for the paid rolls, for the tolls. So we could have been much quicker if we wanted to. I would say Miriam did fairly fast-paced but not super fast-paced driving there. Most of the time with the NIO Pilot when it worked. And so yeah, in overall I would say there's not much of range anxiety from Miriam's side, but it needs a little bit of planning. And overall, not a bad experience when it comes to the whole travel time. It's not much of a compromise, I would say. But that's just my thoughts. What do you think, Miriam?
I think you're spoiled by the 100 kilowatt. You're used to that, and you need to get used to a smaller battery, and you're not used to that.
Yeah, gotta say again, this is the 75 kilowatt hours battery, so definitely have to consider that. Quick update, it's now 3:30 and we only got 8.5 kilometers of range left when we are at our destination. So we had a little bit of traffic jam and now Miriam is feeling the range anxiety.
I feel it now.
We made it to our final destination, of course, without any issues. We were just making fun. Of course, this wasn't the remaining kilometers in the batteries left, but actually the kilometers back to our destination. So we first made it to the hotel, checked in, and now I'm on a public charger here in Vienna, and we're doing a little bit of very, very slow charging. So as you can see, it would take 10 hours to fully charge this, and possibly we even have to continue and do that here and not in our hotel, because it's actually not working in the parking house next to our hotel. And as the topic of the video here is range anxiety, I should say that most chargers actually work even across Europe just with the card provided, the NFC reader card, and there's not a problem at all. But sometimes it can happen, and this is an annoying one. We cannot leave just the car right next to our hotel and charge it overnight. Instead, we possibly have to look at a different place like here. And so range anxiety, is it a big issue? I would say no, if even of a longer trip. This was just a 5-hour trip, so not super long. The superchargers generally work very, very well, and even a 30 minutes break is just enough to get the charge up and going again. Is this making battery swapping obsolete? No, I would say battery swapping just gives another option, especially if you're in a hurry and you want to drive a long time, have a fully replenished battery and just extended range. That is actually pretty nice. However, of course, the availability of battery swap stations will not be everywhere, especially, you know, in Europe where we have different countries crossing the Alps and so on. There won't be battery swap stations everywhere. However, I just learned they are possibly building one along the way here between Munich and Vienna. It sounded like it. I cannot say more than this, but generally we can expect the network to grow. And of course that would get us on the road quicker. Still, I would say range anxiety is not so much of a big issue. Again, we will wake up anyways and have a fully charged car tomorrow, whether or not the car will be standing here on a public road, or if we just find something else nearby the hotel. This is not an issue. You will always wake up with a fully charged car, and that is something great. This will not work in every use case. For example, if you're at home and you don't have a charger nearby at your personal parking spot, or you simply have to park your car at the road and there are not many chargers like this, then again battery swapping becomes maybe quite handy if you are just looking within the city to start your trip with a replenished battery and you finish before with a quite empty one. But now that's the beauty of it. We're just here having a meeting at the co-working space next to us, and now we can just keep the car finished charging for a little bit, and then we are quite flexible from here. So to me, the topic of battery swapping in Europe is more about the long range distance, covering city to city, and also, of course, hopefully the prospects of grid balancing, especially here in Europe, where we have lots of renewable energies and a very unstable grid sometimes. That's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this little episode with our ET7 from Munich to Vienna. More to come. Please subscribe and like and share this, and thanks for watching.